G'day viewers, the end of another week means it's time again for Totally Fucked Up Friday. News stories from around the corner and around the world showing that no matter where you are, you're surrounded by people who are totally fucked up. Big one this week that everyone's been at me to talk about is the bit of a to-do on Australia Day here with Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard being rushed out from a bit of a feisty old protest by her security.
Not safe. It's not safe. We're going
What?
to go.
Stop it!
We're going to go. It's not safe. There's protests everywhere.
Stop that. Yeah, so what had happened? Earlier in the day, opposition leader Tony Abbott made a statement about what's known as the Aboriginal Tent Embassy. Now, I've got to be honest, I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Aboriginal Tent Embassy. It's a protest that's been ongoing for 40 years. It was actually the 40th anniversary. Earlier in the day, Abbott had been asked by the media, what do you think about the Tent Embassy? And he goes, well, I think nobody's mean to any blackfellas ever in this country, so they should forget about it, let it go, it's in the past. Which some Tent Embassy protesters took as him saying, get rid of the Tent Embassy, knock it down, which his good mate John Howard tried several times, put the boys in big boots in, but the Tent Embassy prevails. And some Tent Embassy protesters got pretty upset, and they got told, turns out, by someone on Julia Gillard's staff, who surprisingly resigned after it got found out this person made the Prime Minister look bad. But anyway, so someone tells the protesters, Abbott's at this particular restaurant. Weirdly, so was the Prime Minister.
It's not safe. It's not safe.
It's not happening, dude! It's not happening! Stop it! No more. So, the protesters show up at this restaurant, big glass wall place. Abbott's in there, Gillard's in there, some other politicians. There's a presentation going on, and they're all a couple under them bashing on the glass, going, ah! And her security start going, okay, this is looking not good. I think we want to get out of there. And actually, if you want a good laugh, there's a classic bit of footage, because there was one TV camera in there when they shut the place up, and they got this footage of the head of security saying to the Prime Minister, this is getting a bit out of control. We probably should go now. And she instantly says, oh, what about Mr. Abbott? Where's he? And you've got this guy in charge of security. He's in charge of the Prime Minister, right? He doesn't give a shit about anyone but the Prime Minister. That's his job. So she's saying, what about Mr. Abbott? And this guy's going, yeah, and he's just looking at the exits going, yeah. And one of her staff helpfully goes, there's Mr. Abbott over there. And Julie goes, oh, so we'll bundle him along too. And this guy just goes, yeah, right. And of all the things he gives a shit about, his big give a shit list, Tony Abbott, not on it. But, points to the Prime Minister for getting a guy who, she probably fucking hates, and saying, no, it's actually not safe for him to be here. We have to get him out. And they end up sharing a car together. They got bundled in by the security into the same car. And apparently Abbott was known to have quipped, well, Parliament's going to be boring after this, isn't it? So, yeah. And no, don't do it again, because I am not going to sing the theme from the Bodyguard for you, okay?
Not safe.
It's really never safe around you. Now, as I said, I have a bit of a soft spot for the Aboriginal Tent Embassy, but I have to say, ill-advised protest in my mind. If you want to surround the heads of political parties making a big scene, it's probably going to end up badly for you. They largely got away on the day, but all the protesters have said there's going to be more protests. And you know who's going to be there? More police, who are a little embarrassed at what you did, and they take that shit personally. So let's reenact what's going to happen with that. Azy, you introduce your character.
Oh, I'm a demonstrator who knows his rights.
And I am Constable Throatfuck.
Oh,
And I have a truncheon.
oh, okay.
Assume the position.
After being arrested, I know my rights! Oh, God, my rights! Oh, my rights! I know them. Oh, wow. Yeah, all that was for breakfast.
So guys, I'm not saying extreme police violence is a good thing. I think it's bad. But really, when it comes, don't pretend you didn't know that was what comes next.
Oh, my rights! Oh, that's where that got to. Oh, my! Hello! Ooh.
You'll be fine. Speaking of ill-advised protests on possibly, worthy causes, in the UK, this year is Queen Elizabeth's Diamond Jubilee, celebrating 60 years on the throne.
She's got a crown.
She's got a crown that lots of people died for. And the Duchess of Cornwall, otherwise known as Charlie Chuckle's horse-faced second wife. Yes. How many lumps, Camilla? She's come up with what she calls Cook for the Queen, encouraging school kids to come up with recipes for the Queen, new recipes. Now, this is inspired by when little Betty Windsor first came to the throne. Someone invented what they called coronation chicken to celebrate. It was the best England could come up with. What was coronation chicken, you ask? Cold chicken in a creamy curry sauce. The best. Run, English people, run. Come here. We've got room. We've got food. We've got actual food. We don't cold chicken in a tin of curry sauce and call it fit for a queen. We have actual food. But that wasn't even the point I was going to make.
We've got actual queens too, and they
we do, and they're lovely. But the point I was going to make is a Republican group in the UK is objecting to this, saying that, hey, there's got to be balance. If you're going to say something good about the monarchy, you've also got to say something good about a constitutional republic. Yeah, because it's got to be fair. You're corrupting the kiddies' minds. Now, look, as much as I may agree with them as a republic or democracy as opposed to a monarchy being a preferred sort of method of government, let's take a little guess, kids. If, during the dearly beloved Betty Windsor's 60th anniversary on the throne, you go around publicly slagging her, are you going to be, A, lauded and applauded for your forthright views, or B, have the fuck kicked out of you in the streets?
Oh, I know how this goes.
You really, really do.
Oh, my rights! My rights! Oh, I invented spam! Oh, I'm producing it! Oh!
And if you really want to know about ill-advised protest, you go to Russia, where any protest is a bad idea, because the police, they don't even fuck around with truncheons. They will shoot you. You get in their bad books and you're in another country and they will fucking poison you. You know, you say, you know, it may well be true that Putin's an asshole and a power-mad crazy person, but he'll fucking kill you if you say it. So in Russia, when they apply for a permit to protest and the police say no, they go, very good, officer, see you later. Because you get fucking killed. But some merry pranksters in Russia have come up with a sort of quiet protest. They actually set up protests with little toys, you know, like Lego minifigs. They're holding their little protest signs, Putin sucks bear balls, or whatever, you know, and they set up little dioramas and leave them in public places like, see, it's a little joke, that's it, you're not allowed. The police have been investigating these toy protests. They say these are a threat. There've been police taking notes. No, I see the sign that guy's holding. That said a bad thing, I'm taking notes.
Yorgi, go down to Gap store and get Star Wars big Death Star. We fuck these guys right up.
That's... It's gonna. I think someone did once invent a Lego concentration camp. They're just gonna, yeah, they'll come in with a Death Star, or they'll just put barbed wire around the Lego minifigs, then come up with magnifying glasses and say, you teach you. And for a final story, we come back to Australia, and this is one of those classic stories where the opening paragraph of this news story is so perfect, I had to write it down to make sure I get it right. And it goes like this. Oh, for information, Bunnings is a chain of hardware stores in Australia. A bit like Walmart in America. But
just
it's
hardware.
Just hardware. So, a Bunnings employee who allegedly threatened to shoot everyone in the store while impersonating John Wayne has lost his unfair dismissal claim. Oh. Political correctness gone mad!
What crazy world do we live in when you can't walk into a store where people know that you have guns, threaten everyone with misogyny and hatred to kill them, and then you lose your job?
All you do is say things like, if I have a silencer, they wouldn't even know who did it. Rail against your female manager and say you could take her out with one clean shot and go home and have a cup of tea. And you get fired for little things like that. But the real telltale is not that this guy said this shit, not that he got fired for this shit, but he still thinks he should go to court and say, hey, that's not fair. Which I believe has led to the only self-serve Bunnings in Australia. Because the staff won't fucking show up because they're expecting this nutbag to come back. You know, they should feel, so the article actually specifies that the police took away his weapons license.
Unbelievable.
Doesn't say they got his weapons.
Oh no, come on, it's Queensland, let's get real.
Look, of all the places I will not go, that is one where I will not go. Because you know why, Azzy?
What is that?
Not safe! Not safe! Interesting facts. Crash tackle someone who's already got serious physical injuries. Ends badly.